44 Special versus 45 ACP. This is one of the comparison cartridges that are talked about a lot because the ballistics are often very, very similar. So what I want to do is I want to test the perfect test here, the ultimate test here. And when I say that, basically what I'm saying is I'm saying that both of these platforms are bringing their best foot forward. The 45 ACP, the XTP jacketed hollow point, and the 44 Special is a semi-jacketed hollow point. And that's really the big thing about revolver cartridges that isn't talked about a lot. That's often one of the things that make something like, let's say, the 38 Special as effective as the 9mm, even though it has less energy, because that exposed lead tip is much easier to expand than a fully jacketed bullet. So this should be really interesting. And what I chose today for the 45 ACP was the 200 grain XTP versus the 44 Special 180 grain. The reason for those weights is the sectional density is identical pretty much. So what that is, what sectional density basically is it's scaling down. If you were to just take a 45 ACP and put it into a 180 grain or 185 grain, the bullet would actually be shorter for how long it is, and it makes a huge difference on like penetration and stuff like that. So 180 grain 44 Special, very close in diameter to the 45 ACP and the same sectional density. And these two particular guns, we're talking about 4 inches of bullet travel in this particular Glock 41 pistol, and maybe about 4.5 inches, but we also have the cylinder gap to contend with. So this should be a really interesting test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the chronograph, see what kind of velocity and accuracy we get at the same time, and then my basic ballistic test through the Juggernaut box, which contains a 1 3/4 inch pack of bologna that kind of simulates like a pectoral muscle. We're covered by 4 layers of denim and followed by 1/4 inch medium density fiberboard that kind of simulates like ribs or sternum on a human body, and then into water jugs to catch these bullets. And typically out the back of jug 2 is 12 inches comparison to ballistics gel, back of jug 3 about 15 inches, back of jug 4 about 18 inches, and so forth. And I also have a wood penetration test I want to do. Neither of these cartridges are really known for penetrating very far through hard barriers such as this, and I just want to see how they compare. If one penetrates better than the other, with one having a semi-jacketed hollow point when the other one has a fully jacketed hollow point, I suppose you would say. So let's get started with the test and see how these two compare to each other. All right, first up I have the 45 ACP. It is rated at 1,050 feet per second. I'm about 5 yards from the target, 4 yards from the chronograph. We'll see what kind of velocity and accuracy we get at the same time. See how close we get to 1050 feet per second. 1064. 1045. 1073. 1073. 1076. Very good consistent round. And all you trolls out there, oh my gosh, my Glock didn't jam and it's a stock setup. I must have learned how to stop limp wristing. So let's try that 44 Special and see how that compares. All right, 44 Special, it's listed at 1150 feet per second. I don't know the barrel length they used, but we'll see how close we get to 1150 feet per second through my 4 1/4 inch model 69, Smith & Wesson 69. 1071. 1074. 1074. 1039. 1076, and those couple of rounds that went off, that was all me. I was jerking the trigger just a little bit. Very consistent, a little bit less than rate of velocity, but I would say the power between the two of these cartridges are very, very similar. So let's hit the ballistic box and see how these two compare to each other. All right, first up we have the 45 ACP. We'll see what kind of damage this does. I expect quite a bit. A little bit wet there. All right, it blew this bologna pack apart really, really significantly. There's pieces of it all over the place, and where it hit the fiberboard after going through the bologna pack, we can definitely tell that was already expanding. Big, huge fiberboard hold. So let's see what we got in water jugs. All right, our first jug honestly looks like a 357 Magnum or 10 millimeter hit it. A lot of damage to that first jug. And again, typically we only see massive amount of damage on the second jug. And cartridges like 357 mag, 44 mag, 10 millimeter. Okay, we went straight through 3. Big dent in 5 after going through 4. This is going to indicate about 18 or 19 inches comparison to the ballistics gel, and the bullet is in here. And what we got is what I've seen before with XTPs before. It's not a massive amount of expansion, and the petals kind of peel back, but honestly that doesn't matter a whole lot because of the damage it was putting out there. So let's see how that 44 special compares. All right, 44 special, we'll see what we get. All right, not quite as much splashback. All right, here is our baloney pack, kind of falling apart here. A little bit less damage than that particular 45 ACP, but not too bad at all. Where it hit the fiberboard, it doesn't look like it's expanding right away the way the XTP bullet was, but maybe it expanded a little bit deeper. So let's see what we got in water jugs. All right, our first jug has a little bit less damage than the 45 ACP. The second jug has more damage than the 45 ACP, which would kind of indicate it is expanding a little bit slower. We went right through 3, impact on 4, impact in 5. You can kind of see the bullet in 5 right now. There's a dent out the back of 5. There's a big impact on 6. That does indicate 21 inches comparison to ballistics gel. And what we got is not ideal expansion. I was hoping with the amount of power we got that we would have a lot more expansion, but we did not get a lot of expansion. So this is going to be more of a round that I'd probably use for like black bear defense, something like that. I think the 45 is doing a little bit better in our human analog testing. So let's hit those wood boards and see how these two compare to each other in wood. All right, let's see what happens when I hit wood. This is definitely not supported behind it, so this board is going to slide back, but it's going to slide back with both. So I guess it's still considered a fair comparison between the two. So let's see how 45 does. Wow. I can see the bullet in there smoking. I'm not going to hit it again. Let's try the 44. So our bullet is in the box. Yeah, that thing just completely flattened out. I was expecting it to not quite do that. And very impressive. Let's see how that 44 compares. And before I hit it with the 44, I just want to show that it hit the third board right here. Came out the back of the second, hit the third one. Made a big dent in the third one. So let's see how the 44 compares. All right, 44 special. Let's see how this does. A lot of momentum there. All right, we went through 1, we went through 2, we hit 3. And it went pretty significantly far into 3. I can't really see the bullet. Not gonna be able to break this out here, but it looks like it's at least halfway in. So this actually penetrated just a little bit more. And the entrance hole in this is a little bit smaller. So this bullet is actually deforming less even in wood than the XTP. That's really interesting. One more test. As customary, I like to just launch a few off at 50 yards. See what kind of practical accuracy they have. So let's try that. All right, I'm back 50 yards. I've walked back and forth like 3 times. Had to fix something, so I'm a little tired. We'll see if I can hit 50 yards now. 45 ACP. It went just a little bit to the left of it. Again. There we go. Usually a little bit better than that. 2 hits. Let's try that 44. All right, 44 special. Let's see how this does for me. I really pulled that one to the right. It still has a lot of energy at that distance. So 44 special versus 45 ACP. I was hoping this touch would be a little bit more fair, but you know, that semi-jacketed point didn't quite do as well as the XTP bullet. I was hoping it would, but it looks like the 44 special, just the way it's set up, even though it's comparable energy, comparable diameter, maybe the use of those semi-jacketed hollow point bullets is a little bit better for like defense against a black bear or cougar, something like that. As where the 45 ACP, it's probably a little bit better self-defense round overall. So that's what you get today, 44 special versus 45 ACP plus P, Buffalo Boar, same sectional density. So as always, comment, share, and like, and thanks for watching.